I can't believe we are at this point. It just seems so bizarre, Aaron, that we are now having to ask the question, is Arne Slot the guy for Liverpool moving forward? So this is sort of a slot in versus slot out discussion because that's what the fans are asking now. They're wondering, is this the guy? Like, even if you are the guy that's saying, hey, Slot needs more time, there's still a question mark in your mind. So I've got 6 arguments for slot in versus slot out, Aaron. We are going to discuss them together. Let's just start with the one main thing that people are bringing up when they say we need to give this guy more time. He won the league in the first season he was with Liverpool, obviously last year, won it in pretty admirable fashion, I would say, very quick, very fast, and just kind of effortless. Really, the season was over and Liverpool had the trophy in hand by the end of, I don't know, February. But we've been terrible since February. Aaron, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on these 2 arguments right here.
I think that big one in green is essentially why he's still in a job now. I think form is so bad at the moment. It's as bad as I've seen in a long, long time. I do remember Jurgen Klopp went through a similar bit of form and just couldn't stop losing. Mm-hmm. But, as champions, we already had a kind of nucleus of a squad, and you add £450 million worth of what we all expected to be top quality players.
Yeah,
I mean, it is not fitting together. So we are not piecing together. There just doesn't seem to be any kind of idea on the pitch whatsoever. And a friend said something to me the other day. He said, these guys need to go out for a drink with each other because they're all playing like strangers.
Yeah,
it's like they don't know who they're playing with and they don't know what run they're going to make. It's all over the place, Sam.
Yep. Now, I've got some really concerning graphics here. Last 25 games in all competitions, I think this amounts to like a 45% win percentage. It's just not good enough, Aaron. It's not good enough for Liverpool, and it certainly isn't good enough for this core of players that Liverpool have. Here's another one, maybe even more concerning. The Premier League table since Liverpool won the league last season, Liverpool are sitting 13th, Aaron. 13th. You look at that and you see teams like Sunderland, Manchester United, Everton, Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, teams that are really blowing Liverpool out of the water. And it's clear Liverpool have not been right since I think they dropped out of the FA Cup against Manchester United last season. Everything just kind of fell apart after that. So there are big concerns. And I think this argument, well, Arne Slot just needs time to integrate signings. If you look back to last season, it really started falling off the table in late February, and it has not gotten better. I think it's only gotten worse. And I think the team is only getting worse week by week now. Do you think Arne Slot needs more time to integrate a wealth of new signings, Aaron?
My opinion on this is that I think with time, he breaks the team even further. Yeah, I think I haven't seen a good performance this season, which is crazy. I haven't seen a single 90 minutes in the whole season. We've played about 15, 16 games. I haven't seen a single good 90 minutes of football. We had about 35 minutes against Everton where we looked like we turned it on, and I was like, this is going to be, if this is the way we're going to play, I'm in for this. Yeah. Since then, we haven't, we look vulnerable. I've never seen a team look so vulnerable. And our defensive record absolutely speaks volumes. We are probably the easiest team to score against in the league, bar none.
Yep. Even against Eintracht Frankfurt in a 5-1 win, we're scoring goals. It's 3-1 after the half. I mean, that team is, Frankfurt is just awful. I mean, defensively, they're just terrible. And so, it was a comfortable 5-1 win, but still we conceded first in that game. There were concerns until we, scored 3 at the end of the first half. And that's, that could have been a pivoting moment, right? A pivotal moment where the team says, all right, we're good. Like, we know how to play together. We can score 5 goals in a Champions League match. And yet you follow that up with 2 very, very awful performances and really just a team that looks like they don't believe in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another argument. This is a transition season for Arne Slot's Liverpool. At the same time, you just spent 400 million plus, and I think the team has gotten much worse. So, is this a transition season for Liverpool, Aaron? Should it be a transition season?
No, we just won the league last season in what should have been a transition season. Arne Slot just come into a new league, yeah, with a team that really struggled the year before. It looked like Klopp had kind of maybe ran out of steam, and the players were a little bit burnt out from that heavy metal style football. But Slot come in, and in the first 6 months, sprinkled a little bit of magic on an already great squad, in my opinion.
Yep.
Tried a few new things that we're not seeing now, actually. He's not doing them things he did in the first 6 months, where it was almost 3 formations in a single game, or when we were getting dominated, it was a little tweak in formation or a little tweak in tactics, and we just turned the game around. I'm not seeing that from Slot anymore. I see this arrogance to just, it's my way or the highway. He doesn't look like he wants to change, and he wants to pick the same burnt out players week in, week out. And he's missing out on players that are playing well to play people that have reputations and maybe a bit of recency biased. For me, I mean, something's got to change. I actually thought last night with the kids, I thought I quite liked the formation. I thought we played some tidy football in the first 20 minutes, let's say, before we conceded a goal, and I quite liked the formation. It's just when we went 1-0 down to a very sloppy goal, we kind of fell apart. Yep. But I actually didn't mind the formation, and it was something new. But I just think we're going to go back to the same thing as what we've seen in every Premier League game this season, and just play the same football: sideways, slow, boring, non-creative football.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's where a guy like Federico Chiesa, you could see the quality against Palace. You could see the inventiveness. You could see the creativity. You could see that first touch. Incredible.
His work ethic, mate, is second to none.
Absolutely. So I agree with you, Aaron. I don't have a lot of hope that there will be some bold new changes moving forward. I do think Slot is the type of guy that seems like he's a little bit headstrong and seems like he's just going to force a square peg into a round hole. At the same time, the players just aren't performing. That's another argument where it's like, oh, was Arne Slot on the pitch? Was he the one moving Mo Salah's leg to miss a wide open shot or a wide open pass to Florian Wirtz? Was Arne Slot the one that hit the crossbar and the uprights 3 times? No, that was Gakpo, and those things were on Salah, and just the terrible basic passing errors that we're making week in and week out. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Aaron, versus, clearly when you watch these matches, there doesn't seem to be a tactical plan. It seems like the players are, like you just said, they need to go out for a pint together and just figure each other out. What do you think about that?
I think it's a combination of both, mate. I genuinely think it's a combination of both. There doesn't seem to be much of a plan. It seems so pedestrian, our football. And actually, we only look decent when we go a goal behind.
Yeah.
It throws a bit of urgency into the team. We start moving the ball a bit quicker. We start, playing creative football. But we shouldn't have to go a goal down. We're always chasing our tails. And yes, the players aren't performing at the moment. And the players that I wouldn't expect to be excelling at the moment are excelling. And things like Sobo's having a great season so far.
Yep.
And I feel bad for him. Is where I've not always been his biggest supporter, but the work ethic on the guy and actually the quality this season, I actually feel he's been the standout performer. I would have said Grav 3 or 4 games ago, but Grav's had a bit of a tricky few weeks, but Sobo has been fairly consistent in it. He had one dodgy game when he went back at right back and
Yeah.
he got roasted a few times, but
Yep.
he's been great. Sobo's been a good player this season, and Ekitike looks great as well.
I agree. Yeah, and I do feel like there is just a lack of what Soboslai brings. There's a lack of energy. There's a lack of effort, I think, even in that first 11. I think, Aaron, this is what I think. These new players who have come in, not all of them. I think Ekitike is not part of what I'm about to say. I think you have players like Isak, like Kirkez, and I'm not. I don't even think I'm putting Florian Wirtz in this bucket. But you have players who I think thought coming to Liverpool would make their lives easier on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think they wanted a move not to, win trophies and win games, but when you're a guy like Isak or when you're a guy like Kirkez, you're probably looking at, oh, Liverpool, if I go there, I'm going to get to play better because it's going to be easier. I'm going to be surrounded by better players.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. Certainly not in the Premier League. That's not how it works. And I'm just seeing this mindset of like, oh, I don't have to try as hard, or I don't have to be the same player I was at Bournemouth or Newcastle because now I'm surrounded by greatness and I can just let my foot off the gas a little bit. I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but that's what I'm seeing on the pitch. And I just feel like there are players who are not performing. I don't understand why. I don't understand why Milos Kerkez looks like a 9-year-old playing football out there.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, Isak's, he's injured, whatever. But even he doesn't have that same drive. I'm not seeing the same Isak that played against Liverpool in the past 2 seasons.
Chance creation, though, Sam. Where's the creation for him?
Right. Where is it?
If you don't play Wirtz behind Isak, you might as well not play Isak.
Right.
That is the top and bottom of it. We used to be the hardest working team in the league, Sam.
Yes.
Henderson, Fabinho, Milner, hard working players. That's why we were winning. That's why we were so successful under Klopp. We seem to not. We get outworked in every game now. Every game we get outworked. We are flimsy. We get bullied. We can't listen. And Slot coming out saying low blocks and a long throw. We don't know what to do with it. Mate, give every single team the ingredients on how to beat Liverpool.
Yep, and that's where I think the excuses come in. And I don't think we can forget about the impact of Jota and the tragedy before the season even started. That is heavy. That's going to weigh on a lot of people for a long time. We can't forget about that. But I think Arne Slot is starting to pull out some really bizarre excuses. Things like, long throw-ins are hard to defend. Long set pieces are hard to defend. Oh, yeah, these teams have us figured out. What kind of top manager says something like that? Do you ever hear Pep Guardiola say something like? Do you ever hear Jurgen Klopp say something like that? You can certainly say good things about your opposition, but when you admit that, and it's not just one game, it's not just Crystal Palace, they tried something different against us, we weren't ready for it. No, this is like 5, 6, 7 games in a row now where Arne Slot is saying, we just don't have answers. We just don't have answers.
What kind of message does that give to the players?
That as a manager?
What kind of message does that give to the players and the fans? The players and the fans must be listening to that thinking, well, when are we going to win a game? Because we've just told every team how to beat us.
Yep. And we don't have an answer.
It's crazy. It reminds me a little bit of Brendan Rodgers at the end of his tenure. If you remember, Brendan Rodgers, we were getting beat. We were really struggling in his last season. And he just had an excuse every week, and there would be no criticism to his players, and it was just always, happy. Sometimes you look at Klopp. Klopp will say it as it is, and I think we miss that a little bit, really. Yeah, I think we miss it.
Yep, I'm seeing people online say the same thing about the Brendan Rodgers comparison. They're like, Brendan Rodgers was fine for a season or two, and then it started to get weird and it started to get awkward when he would talk in front of the media. And I'm feeling the same way when I see quotes from Arne Slot and these pressers and and the post game and the pre-game stuff. And I'm hearing what he's saying. I'm like, is that real? Like, did you really just say that? Like, there's some bizarre things coming out of his mouth. And I know from his reputation and from Dutch fans and Feyenoord fans, and they're like, Arne Slot's going to be brutally honest with you. That's the Dutch way. That's how Dutch people
I'm not seeing it.
communicate. I don't see it either, Aaron. And I feel like we got that last season.
We
I
got
feel
sold,
like we got that last
sold a
season.
dream. We got sold a dream, Sam. And what he did last night in that Carabao Cup, mate, that for me, that's unforgivable.
Yeah.
Unforgivable, mate. He sent them boys out there to the slaughter, essentially.
Yep.
He put Chiesa in with a load of kids. This guy is so disrespected, in my opinion. He works. Listen, one thing we're missing in our first team at the moment, Sam, is hard workers.
Yeah.
No one works harder than Chiesa. This guy, he chases him and Soboslai. Imagine putting them in a kind of front five and having that work ethic where we're not harrying teams. We're not putting teams under pressure at the moment. You put two people on there that chase the ball, we've got a chance. Yeah, we need hard workers in our team.
Well, and just think about 90 minutes of Chiesa playing with Verts and playing with Ekitike and even Gakpo.
Give him a chance.
And the amount of chances he could create versus what we see from Salah for 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah, he's having a tough season, Salah.
Yeah. Yep. So, Aaron, give him to the end of the season. I think there's a chance if that happens, there is a chance we could miss top four. If there is a blanket security over Slot and he's got from the leadership, hey, you've got to the end of the season. Let's see what you can do with this bunch of players. I think there's a real chance we miss top four. What do you think about that?
Well, look at the form table you put up earlier. Yeah, where are we?
Yeah.
13th, 14th?
Bottom half. We're a bottom half team.
So we're a bottom half team right now, yeah, under Slot. People are looking at this thinking, oh my God, we've lost 6 and 7. But look at those 25 games and how many L's are on that screen.
Right.
That's the form we're in. We're not in 6 and 7. That table you put up there earlier, that's the form we're in right now, yeah?
Absolutely.
Are you able to go back to that slide, Sam?
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, that's the form we're in, which is atrocious.
Yeah.
45% win ratio in 25 games is insanity. For a top team who won the league last season and comfortably won the league last season.
Yep.
45%, that's
terrible. And this is where we're sitting. I mean, we are a bottom half team right now. You take away, I've heard the other arguments of like, oh, well, we've just been unlucky in the last 2 months.
No, we haven't.
Well, we were lucky at the beginning of the season. Everybody knew it. I mean, I'd talk to Arsenal fans who I'm good friends with, and they're like, dude, you guys are so lucky. And I'm like, yeah, we are. Like, we are getting so lucky. If you look back at this, what is that, 7 wins in a row there? Those were not good performances. And we could all see it. We could all see it. It was awful, and we were fine with it because we were pulling out magical wins. And then the luck ran out, and I don't think we've been unlucky. I mean, maybe you could say, all right, Gakpo hitting the post 3 times, that's fine. But even in those games, in the past 7 games, we have not had a good performance. I mean, Frankfurt, maybe you could make that argument. But it's not like we're playing well and we're just not scoring. No, we're not playing well. We're conceding. We're falling apart. We have no possession. We have no tactics. We have no strategy. So, Aaron, let's wrap it up. I would love to know, are you slot in or are you slot out right now? And think of it this way, Aaron. If you were in Michael Edwards' shoes where you have, the executive power to make a decision right now, are you dropping Arne Slot as the manager of Liverpool?
I'm gonna go for an unpopular take right now. And I mean this. I would say Arne Slot is in the process of driving us into the ground. Yeah. I think our next 3 games is Villa, Real Madrid, and Man City. I think he's driving us into the ground. I think he loses another 2 of them. That is my honest opinion. And I'm not too sure if he picks up a win in any of them 3 games, the way we're playing right now, the confidence is so low. I would literally get rid of him now. And this is going to be an unpopular take now. while someone's sitting at home, Mr. Steven Gerrard, I'd take him in as an interim manager right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, and get people playing
Interesting.
for a Scouser in the team.
Hmm.
Yeah, bring. Listen, I don't think he gets the job full time, but I think he'd do a. I think he would set us up in a better, more attacking way to be able to get the best out of the likes of Isak and Wirtz. He will look at Wirtz and say, "I know exactly how to play you."
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's an attack-minded midfielder.
Yeah.
That's the move I'd be looking at right now, Sam.
I'm going to disagree with you. I
That's
would
fine.
not grab Steven Gerrard because I just feel like there's a long history of that not working well. And I'm
Agree.
thinking probably mostly about Manchester United, who has tried that several times
Well, Frank
over the
Lampard
past
as well
few
with
years.
Chelsea.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm not doing that.
Mm.
I am not going to overthrow the boat yet. I think I would say I'm going to give this a little bit more time. But if we have another 3 losses in our next 3 matches, I just don't know how you continue with Arne Slot. So I guess I'm saying I'll give him another week or two to see if there's any semblance of a change, any hint of
Mm.
improvement, because right now the trend is certainly downward. We have gotten so much worse over the past 2 months, and I don't get it. And so I want to think that Arne Slot, who I thought was brilliant last season, I want to think that there's a plan. If I don't
Mm.
see the plan in the next couple weeks, I just don't know how we continue with him. So let us know what you think in the comments. I know this is going to be there might be a firestorm in the comments on this one, Aaron, but I think this was a good, honest discussion. I think it needs to be had because we are historically bad right now, and for Liverpool Football Club, that is not acceptable, and that cannot continue.